Hey, what's going on? Ryan here, Triathlon.com. You can hear in the background the dogs are playing with their bones. But we're going to do a quick little video about talking about tips on, do you really need a coach? I mean, we see it all out there in Facebook land for triathlons and other place else. Do I need a coach? I'm looking for a coach. Should I get a coach? Blah, blah, blah. So we're going to talk about it. I am a coach, so if you want more information, let me know. But hey, we're going to go through and we're going to discuss, do you really need a coach? So as you can see here, it's Red Friday, the time of this recording, 2022, kicking off the 2022 football season here. Chiefs, big Chiefs fan. Need to read on the background there. But hey, we're talking about triathlon specifically, so let's dive into it. Number one, you need the resources to pay. So, can you afford it? Not all coaches charge the same. Some coaches charge $500 a month, and hopefully you're getting the services that you're paying for. Some coaches charge $25 a month. So, just depends probably on the level of attention you're going to get, the level of experience of the coach. But in the end, it's probably going to cost you something. Any coach probably that's worth his weight or his acknowledgement or opinion or anything is going to charge something for their services, because usually people don't work for free, especially time and money, all that fun stuff. So, number two, commit to a plan. So if a coach gives you a plan, are you going to commit to that plan? Or do you just need a plan and commit to it and you're good to go? If you could commit to a plan on your own, if you can find a training peaks plan, I write up just generic training peaks plans, I write up race specific plans, final surge plans. So if someone's good enough and motivated enough and dedicated enough to where they can just, hey, all I need is a plan and know what to do when, maybe you don't need a coach, or maybe you guys just need somebody every once in a while to like talk to for an hour and just be like, hey, can you look at my plan? Let's go through this and see how I'm doing. So kind of gauge where you're at. Do you need that extra motivation to make that commitment to a plan, and paying for a coach makes you commit? Or do you just need a plan and you don't really need a coach? Something to think about. Number three, try out a few shorter races to gauge self-reliance. So if you do figure out, well, I want to try a training peaks plan, and go out there and do it, and you try to follow that plan, and you go to race day and you're like, it was really difficult, and try to understand some stuff, and I think I could really benefit from someone looking over my shoulder and kind of give me tips on what to do better. So maybe just test it out in a small little, scenario and situation where you can kind of gauge overall, especially if you're going to 71.3 or Ironman distance races, will a coach actually kind of benefit me? And those smaller races are a good place to do that. So number four, maybe you need a specialist for a certain race. So maybe you're focused on a full Ironman race, and you're trying to qualify for Kona, or you're trying to get a personal best, and it's a really flat course, and you really want to focus on cycling and really getting that down and improving your FTP and your speed and all that kind of fun stuff. So maybe a coach with a cycling background is more your speed, and some coaches will just work on one discipline if you want. It's swimming for a lot of people, maybe it's biking, maybe it's running. So find a coach maybe that has the niche you're working for, and maybe they won't charge as much for the whole program if they're just focused on one aspect of the program. So keep that in mind. Number five, doing the best you can and still not getting those gains. So if you're out there, you're following the plan, and you think you're nailing it, you're doing everything right, but you just, for whatever reason, just not making gains. You're not getting fast, you're not getting better, you don't feel more confident when you're doing your races on the plan. Maybe it's time to say, hey, I need a coach to kind of watch me and just do it for a race cycle, for 6 months for a full Ironman race, and just see, did I get results that I was looking for? Did things improve? Or is it really about the same and didn't really need that coach after all? So kind of another way to kind of gauge it. Number six, just feel like you're spinning your wheels. So if you feel like you're doing the training and it's kind of like number five there, just not feeling like you're just going through the motions, not really helping, not really doing any gains, not really feeling anything about it, maybe it's time to roll back and say, okay, let's check out a coach, and maybe for a month or two, and just see if it makes a difference and makes me feel better, makes me feel like I'm getting something more in my workouts. Number seven, some coaches have alternative methods. So, not every coach is the same. It's not all, some are just all volume, some are periodization, some are reverse periodization. So once you get in there, don't think that one coach, maybe that's the way it has to be done by everybody. Or when you get in there and you're looking at your resources, you're looking at your commitment to plans, and you're like, I need a kind of a melding of all this information. Sometimes there's coaches like myself, I do different kinds of programs. I do plans, I do one-on-one, and I do somewhere in between where I'm planning out a month at a time, and after a month we kind of check in and be like, hey, do we need more of this, more of that, less of this, less of that? Feeling okay, feeling tired, feeling ready, need more, that type of thing. So make sure that you're aware that there's alternative methods out there to coaching. There's not just one perfect method that's going to fit everybody. Number 8, be decent at communication. So if you're going to do a coach, or if you're thinking about it, a coach is only good as communication and getting back from an athlete. If you're just kind of like, yeah, this went okay, and that's all we get. It's like, well, did you feel like you're worn out? Did you feel like you got gains from this? There was a struggle bus. You know, we asked for you to weigh yourself before and after, you didn't, and we're just not getting information from you to help you make you a better athlete. Then you kind of look at it and be like, well, I don't like communicating this stuff. I don't like taking time to put comments on workouts and that type of thing. So if that's part of your problem, or a problem that you foresee being an issue, maybe it's something you go back and say, well, maybe a coach is the best for me because they need that extra communication, and I just don't want to do it. I don't want to mess with it. I don't have the time, whatever. So keep that in mind. Number 9, you just need some accountability. Some people are just out there, it's like, I need someone staring over my shoulder that gives me a nudge to say, hey, you're not doing your workouts. Something to just keep you accountable. And some people, that's a big reason why they hire a coach, just someone to keep them accountable, even from a distance or virtual. I got ways to pester people. I got text messages, I got Facebook messages, I got emails, I got notifications on workouts and training peaks. I can pester people all day long if I wanted to. So that's something that can kind of help you out. But if you need that accountability and you're just not getting it, working out on your own, maybe it's time to kind of look and consider a coach. Number 10, you get some time back. So you don't have to go through, you don't have to figure out all your workouts, all your schedules, all your plans. Sometimes a coach just plans it out for you, and you just figure out when to do it during the day. And you work with them, find a good plan and a system of when to do the long rides, long runs, and all that kind of fun stuff. And you just go out and do it. You get your workouts emailed to you on the day before. Go out and do your workouts, you got a question, ask a question, and then you're off and doing it. My workouts are structured for my athletes, so it's really, it just spits out, the wattage, the heart rate, or whatever, and you just go do it. So consider that, if you're like stressed, I just don't have enough time in life, but maybe I got a little bit of extra funding that I can funnel into this here and get a coach and get some time back on the other side. So keep that in mind. Number 11, setting realistic goals. So if you're never done an Ironman and you want to qualify for Kona on your first race, your first Ironman distance, you better be very genetically gifted or come from a very structured and rigid endurance background, or you're going to find a coach and they say they can get you there from couch to Kona. Just be wary. You got to set realistic goals. That first, maybe the first year is doing 7.3, next year is your first Ironman, and then see how it goes from there. See if you want to be competitive, or if maybe just doing the Ironman races and the Ironman lifestyle is something you like, and you just want to keep that going over time, and you just want longevity in the sport. So set realistic goals when you're thinking about coaches and you're looking at coaches. Number 12, are you always getting hurt? Do you find yourself, you're training, the workload goes up, and your feet are always hurting, your shoulders are always hurting, something's going bad, you're always fatigued or something like that. So maybe your plan just isn't really working all that great. So maybe that's where you kind of look at a coach and be like, hey, this is what I'm doing, and they can look at it and be like, oh yeah, you're working way too hard, way too often, so I can see why you're getting hurt. Or they do a run analysis, swim analysis, bike analysis, and be like, hey, I see this is going on when you're doing your run. That kind of explains why your rear end is always kind of in pain, why your hamstrings hurt, why your glutes hurt, why your hip flexors are in pain. Or they can give you suggestions and be like, hey, go to a massage therapist, go to a physical therapist, go to a sports doctor for sports medicine, go to a chiropractor, whatever. Somebody to kind of be on the outside to kind of look in and be like, hey, this is kind of what I see going on, why you're always getting hurt. So these are kind of 12 points that I came up with thinking about, do you really need a coach, and things to get you thinking about, well, do I really need him or do I not need him? These check a lot of boxes and be like, oh, maybe the coach isn't that bad of an idea, and you can dive into it. So I want to wrap up this video. I know I talked quickly. I didn't want to lose you. If this helped you up on Facebook, give it a like. Help you on YouTube, give it a like, hit subscribe, notifications for future tips and notifications, videos I do. If you got any questions, put them in the comments. Facebook, YouTube, I get all the notifications for those. So I'd happy to get back to you and answer any questions you might have, or if I missed a point or something like that you think is important, let me know. Other than that, I want to wish you happy training, and we'll see you out there on the race course.